Have you ever looked at your partner and thought, I love this person, oh, but why do they frustrate me so much? I've asked myself that question. That's the truth. Or maybe you've asked yourself, why do we keep having the same fights over and over and over again? Sometimes maybe you even asked yourself, did I make a mistake marrying this man or this woman? I laugh because the truth is, relationships are not that hard. In fact, there's nothing wrong with relationships. It's the human beings in it. But let me tell you what is. Unlearning the dysfunctional patterns we were never taught to question. That's what's hard in a relationship. You see, many of us are walking around with relationship templates we inherited from our parents. Childhood, some from the movies, these songs, I can't live without you, I can't breathe without you songs. Some from culture or religion. And these things were never designed to make love work. I shock you, Abby, but that's the truth. Now, you wonder why intimacy feels like a battlefield instead of a safe place. Because the one thing we want the most is intimacy, but the one thing we fear the most is also intimacy. Now, here's the truth, guys. The success or failure of your relationship is not about just love. It's also about understanding. It's about how to build a relationship and a partnership where two people don't just survive together, but actually thrive together. So, if you've ever felt like you and your partner speak different languages and are from different planets, you are not alone. If you've ever struggled with trust or communication or emotional connection or romance or intimacy and letting go, once again, you are not alone. What you need is not to put more effort. It's to change strategy and create a new strategy. So in this conversation and this next series, we're going to be breaking down what makes relationships truly work, why some couples are deeply connected and intimate, whilst others feel like strangers living in the same house. And I've been there too. And by the end of this video or this series, you'll not only understand your partner better, but you'll also learn how to create a love that actually lasts. First for you, and then for the relationship. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Before we go any further, have you liked this video? If you haven't, stop and like it now. It will mean so much to me. And then also subscribe, because when you subscribe, you get notifications that we've dropped new videos, and I drop 3 videos in a week and you don't want to miss it. And then lastly, share me with others so that as you're being blessed and you're growing, you can bless others and they can grow too, and you create a community of growing people. Thank you. Now, the first question I'm going to ask you is your relationship a partnership or a prison? Ask that, it's a puzzle. Is your relationship a partnership or a prison? Because a relationship should feel and should be a safe space for growth, not a place where dreams go to die. Many people, so many people, and myself inclusive, we're transactional. If you give me this, I give you that. Then on top of that, we're stuck in obligations. We're stuck in guilt and shame or expectations, rather than transforming our partnerships that help both of us thrive. Now, there's some red flags people say. Green flags, right? Let me tell you the difference between red flags and green flags. Now, people talk about red flags and green flags, right? Red flags are like prison. You feel like you're in a prison in your relationship. And some of the things that happen here, you feel like you are constantly negotiating your existence and your stand. You're emotionally exhausted all the time and you feel restricted. You always feel like you're walking on eggshells, or you have to shrink yourself for other people to accept you, or reduce the things you say because they tell you you talk too much. But green flags are like partnerships. They bring support. They bring freedom. They bring elevation, and your partner should unlock more of you, not less of you. Because the Bible once again says, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor, which then means that your relationship should multiply your potential and not reduce it. Oh, Guys, and once again, the Bible says one will knock down 1,000 and two will knock down 10,000. This is exactly what it's talking about, because two heads are always better than one. And that's why God said it's not good for man to be alone. Otherwise, he would have left Adam with all the animals. He brought woman to support the man, because God saw that there has to be a connection. God had Jesus, had the angels. And so they would, rub minds. That's the way I see heaven playing out. God and his people, his angels. What do you think I should do? The angels come and say, God, we think this. That's the way I see the pictures playing out. And so God, because he wanted human beings to also have the same experience, hence creating us in his image, he created both male and female, so that when our heads rub together, magic happens. But what happens today? We say, no, you are fighting against me. No, you are the one that is making me become a bad person, or you are the one that is making me angry. And rather than sit down and, out of curiosity, ask yourself, why did that thing hurt me so much? And I used to do it in the beginning of my marriage. I used to blame my husband for all my mishaps. I used to blame him for making me feel less than, not enough, not seen, not heard, not needed, all those things. If you ask me, what are the things you want your husband to do for you? I'll write down, I want him to see me. I want him to love me. I want him to... Until one day, God asked me this question: do you love you? Until you love you, your partner cannot love you. That thing was so shocking to me, because I was like, what do you mean, God? My husband, they told me, remember I said that most of the things that we carry are things that they taught us. They told me that your husband is meant to be your everything, your fan, your freezer, your air conditioner, your light, your television, your TV. If everybody could be one thing, wouldn't that thing collapse? But what did I know? And then I used to watch all those films, 90 minutes film that will tell you, and they lived happily ever after. They have one small fight, then something will bring them back together. And those things became unrealistic, or have become unrealistic, because life doesn't happen like that. Can you live happily ever after? Absolutely. But there's a lot of work that comes with happily ever after that we were not taught. So I used to think those things, that my husband is the one that is meant to fulfill me, make me happy, complete me, elevate me. I had all the wrong expectations of him, when the truth is, he couldn't even be some of the things that I wanted to be to me, to himself. And I, the major culprit in this story, couldn't be any of those things for myself. And that's why I expected someone else to do it for me, because once again, we're taught to look externally for validation, because as children, we needed our parents to smile at us to feel loved. And then when they frowned at us, we feel fear. And so we've carried that from childhood to now an adult, and we're looking at people once again, please just love me, just tell me I'm great, tell me I'm fantastic. And when they don't, you then feel bad about yourself. And I used to tie my essence to what my husband felt about me. That when he felt good about me, I felt good about me. When he felt bad about me, I felt bad about me. And that put me in a state of depression and disarray, let me use that word, because I didn't know how to give it to myself. Now I started to learn, however, that anything that triggered me, because the trigger already exists in you, somebody just came and turned on the light. Anything that annoys you, aggravates you, and puts you in a state of, anger and turmoil, means that it has reminded you of something that already exists in your nervous system and in your subconscious mind. So should that then not mean that I should interrogate it rather than fight the other person? Because it's a personal interrogation. Why did I'll give you an example. This statement from the same Bible, women are meant to subject to men. That sentence used to churn my inner loins, my tummy. I would just be like, no. Interrogating it, I found out that when people said subject, I heard servant. And I have not worked so hard to be anybody's servant. So I fought against the meaning that I gave to that word subject. That I'm like, no, I'm not listening to this. So the meaning I gave to it. But it triggered something in me, and this was what it triggered. My father had done everything he could to try and, he did it in his way to try and curb me or tame me. They used words like break you, I will break you, because they thought that they were doing something good, not knowing that they were broken, and that's why they could use a word to want to break their children further. However, he did what his parents also did to him, so it's a vicious circle. I stopped doing that to my children because I know better now. But I also passed that on to my children at the beginning, that I will give you something to cry about. I will break you just because. And so that statement took me back to that, where it felt like you were bullying me by using that word. And I refuse to be bullied by anybody. My father has tried to break me, or he tried to break me for 21 years of my life. He didn't succeed. You can never touch it. So can you see how I trace that? Just by one simple word, subject. So you do the same. Are there things that your partner says to you that really irks you? Or things they do that really piss you off? Rather than externalizing it and say, you caused me, you did this. Do you like my bracelet, by the way? My daughter made it for me. Just, hashtag Davida, thank you. Right. If you find yourself in that situation, right? If you do, be more curious about it. Be an investigative journalist and be an Inspector Gadget and just ask, why did it hurt me this much? Be actually grateful for them for putting on that light, because that's the work you then need to do on yourself to eliminate that trigger, because that's what they've come to do, and then help reduce it to a point where it stops meaning anything to you. And I've got a couple of other exercises that I'm going to share with you, right? So this is the first one I want you to do. The next one I want you to do is ask yourself, do I feel more free or more restricted in my relationship? Because your relationship is meant to empower you, not take away from you. And I want you to write down 5 ways your partner supports or limits your growth. Now, it's not up to them for your growth to either be supported or limited. However, you want to know whether your partner is really there or you are in a real partnership. Remember the green flags, and not in a prison. Now, for singles, I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I choosing a partner based on chemistry alone? Or is this based on compatibility and shared values? Because your values have to align, my sisters and brothers. Otherwise, it's just going to be turmoil for you. And then your call to action for today is I want you to drop partnership over prison in the comments down below. If you're committed to building a relationship that elevates your life, partnership over prison in the comments down below. And to do a successful relationship audit, or know who to choose and why you must choose them, or even understanding who you are. Now, for you to really go down deep and understand who you are, I've got 2 products for you. One is the 9 elements of you. That's a course that I have on my website, www.omgglobalconsulting.com. It will be put down in the description box. And I also have something called POEM, the Personal Operating Internal Manual. You would have a manual, just like we have the Bible to know God, and you have manuals in every product you buy. See yourself as a product today and create your own personal manual that you can share with all the people in your life so that they know you better. But before they know you, you know you better. My name is Adiola Kingsley James. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share me with other people. Love and light.